Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Not that any of us left. Why don't we go ahead and have a $40,000 Bitcoin watch party? We're currently at 39,895, so we are coming in hot. Watch party 39,900. We're getting pretty close here. Alright, so we're currently at 39,908. The current all-time high on Coinbase is 39,911. Now it's 921, 930, 941. So we're closing in on 40K here pretty soon, it appears. 944 is the new all-time high. So the current all-time high is 39,944 and climbing. Yeah, we did hit 1 trillion in case you guys didn't see. The total cryptocurrency market capitalization is now over 1 trillion. So it's been quite the journey for sure. So we're now still at 39,904. You guys think we're going to make it to 40K today? We're only 55 bucks away or so. $55 away. 50. Oh, we're almost there. 39,967, 968, 975, 970, 980, 989. Here we go. 39,990. 998. This is insane. This is I mean, it's ridiculous. 987. It looks like on Bitstamp it's already 40K. You can see right here, 40K. Let's see what Coinbase does. 39,990. Oh, there it is, 40K. A $40,000 Bitcoin. So we'll book it. January 7th, 2021. Bitcoin hits $40,000. Wow. Wow. Let's see what Ethereum's doing. 1276. So Ethereum still, now we're above 40K on Bitstamp, so probably about to see that happen on Coinbase. Bitstamp is, okay, now it's back below it. You can see like the arbitrage sort of there between Bitstamp and Coinbase. I mean, it's very quick, but. We did make it to see 40K. A pretty impressive move. So is anyone feeling that the euphoria? Has anyone felt that yet? Someone said this run might be better than the last one percentage-wise. I don't know about that. I mean, we would have to get to $310,000 for it to beat the last market cycle. Maybe you guys think it'll make it to $310,000, but I have my doubts for sure. So one of the things we were showing earlier was the time, to move from say 10K to 20K. We did a video on this earlier, and it's hard to get the exact, but it's right around here was when we last left 10K or so. And when we got to 20K, it was around 90. I think when I zoomed in earlier, it was around 99. There it is. So it's around 99 days. So to go from 10K to 20K, it took 99 days. and then to go from like 20 to 30, and there might be a little bit of uncertainty with exactly how I'm measuring these, but 20 to 30, around 17 days. So 10 to 20 was 99 days, 20 to 30 was 17 days, and we speculated on this in the video I posted earlier called Bitcoin, the Orchestra Crescendo, that we might in fact hit 40K today after 5 days. So 99, so if we just write this out, so from 10, from 10K to 20K, I mean, obviously the percentages drop, right? Like this first one's 100% to go up. So for that one, it was 99. And now we're at 40,106. So and then from 20 to 30, it was 17. And then, as we speculated earlier, and it actually has transpired at this point, from 30K to 40K, we're looking at 5 days. So 99, 17, and 5. So then, naturally, if we keep on moving, we've come this far, might as well keep on going. 40K to 50K. How long will it take? Well, this is a pretty interesting trend, right? 99 to 17, 17 to 5, right? We said earlier 5 over 17 is 29.4%. So from 20 to 30, it was about 29% of the time that it took from the one before that. And then from 99 to 17, 99 to 17, so let's do that again. So 17 divided by 99 is 17%. So from here to here, it was 17% of the prior time. This one was 29. Well, to go from 40 to 50 at this rate, right? I mean, no guarantee this is going to continue. It looks like it's continuing right now, right? We're at 40,300 already. But if it were to continue, I don't know. I mean, you can't really extrapolate percentage data. Like, and we only have 2 points. But let's just say, let's suppose that it took, 40% of the time of the last one, right? If it took 40% of the time, then that would imply us getting to 50K in 2 days, right? That's what it would imply. We're not saying it's going to get there. That's just saying that's what it would imply at this rate that it's moving up. And then, I mean, if we do make it to 50K and it turns out that it's not the top, right? Then you start looking at, okay, well, there's 60K. That's what comes after 50 in terms of 10K increments, right? 60K. I mean, are we gonna start? And if that's say 50% or something, the question is, are we gonna have a 10K day, right? Are we going to have a single day that gives us 10K? A few days ago we had what, like a 5K day or a 4K day. It went from like 29K to 33K. Does anyone know exactly what it was? I think it was around 4K in a day. Maybe someone. Condre says, hey Ben, I'm starting to think Bitcoin's going up forever, so that's a bad sign for the market. Although it technically will go up forever, just not short term forever. Yeah, the insights on this channel are insane that 60K comes after 50K when discussing 10K increments. I'm here all day. See, I know everyone is really euphoric right now, and it's really, I mean, it's definitely a great time. But one thing to consider is that, when we see these types of moves, it just, and for those who have been around, have been around Bitcoin for a while, the scary part of these moves is that, like, historically they're not very sustainable, right? I mean, a 40K Bitcoin that we never then go back down below 40K is it's not very likely that we only go up from here, right? It's not very likely. So the scary part is, well, depending on how high we go and how nasty the correction is, how long will it take us to sort of regroup and continue higher, right? That's always the question, right? If the dangerous part of getting it extended this quickly, obviously, is, well, what happens if it comes back down? How long will it take people to regroup, and whatnot? So it's back down. It's back down to 39,437. So it has come back down a little bit here. And don't forget that it could always have a correction, right? I mean, it had a 20% correction the other day, a wick, and then continued higher. So even if it were to drop, I mean, it could drop. What, I mean, if it's $4,000, 10% or 40,000, 10% would be 4,000, so 20 would be 8. So I mean, it could drop down to $32,000, and that would be a 20% correction at 32K, which it did the other day, right? I mean, there's this wick right here. This wick was around from the top of that day. I mean, from the top the prior day, it was around 20% down. So we saw a 20% correction not that long ago. Yeah, so the good thing about this move, yeah, altcoins today are not doing that well, but again, they're not going to, for the most part, if Bitcoin's doing this, but Ether Bitcoin is still holding fairly well. I mean, it's been moving mostly sideways the last few days. It's still at 0.032. Ethereum at least has been trying to keep pace with Bitcoin. It's trying to keep pace with it. Obviously, a lot of the other coins are not right now. I mean, some of them have had really great weeks, right? I mean, some of them are up several 100% over the last week. But in terms of the last day or two, this another surge by Bitcoin is causing the dominance to go back up. Like, it has to be going back up. You can see the Bitcoin dominance has been moving back up. It's back to 69.64. So it's moving up 69.71. So you can see it's moving up rather quickly. It peaked the other day at 73.73. Let's switch this one over to Bitstamp. So here we are, right? We're still, I don't even know if, well, actually, it looks like we're heading down a little bit right now. 38,620, 38,660. So we have come back down about $1,300 since the live stream started. So the stream did it again. I mean, honestly, like when I do my live streams, it is a pretty good indicator, right? It seems like it's a pretty good indicator for maybe the hourly top is in. Let's see what the dominance did. What did the dominance do during that move? So it didn't really change. So the dominance did not really change. So Ethereum is having a pretty nice drop, right? Pretty nice drop down to 1227 from the local top of 1291. So we'll keep an eye. Remember, we don't know where the top is. We have no idea where the top is. It looks like on Coinbase it reached 44.25. Okay, it reached 44.25. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. So Ether Bitcoin is still doing okay, 0.0319, still well over 0.03. Ether's back up to 1245. Pretty nasty short-term wick down to 1226. We'll see what happens here. Obviously depends on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's back above 39K. We'll see if maybe we can get back to 40. But here we're just outlining these are days, right? So this right here that we're showing is the number of days between 10K moves. That's the number of days between 10K moves. So 99, 17, 5. And then we're just simply speculating, right? We're simply speculating that if the trend continues, right? If the trend continues, then it might be around 2 days before we're at 50K. But that's a huge if. And, if Bitcoin pauses for a few days, I don't think it's going to pause for a few weeks at 40K. But if it were to pause for a few days at this point at 39K, 40K, then yeah, like the other coins will probably run. But they're not gonna have a huge, like the dominance as a whole is not going to drop like a rock if on days where Bitcoin is just pushing 40K or pushing up several $1,000s each and every day, right? We just simply know that's not going to happen. Yes, there are a lot of coins that are performing exceptionally well right now. Ethereum's one of them, right? Ethereum's one of them. But yeah, I would say let's just see what Bitcoin does. Obviously, there's going to be anytime you get to these big round numbers like 20K, 30K, 40K, there's going to be a decent amount of up and down volatility. I mean, you can see in the last like 20 minutes, in the last 10 minutes, it's ranged from like 38.5 or so all the way up to 40,500. I mean, we literally watched the price move by $2,000 in the last 10 minutes. I do think it would be very impressive if we had a 10K day, right? If we had a 10K day, you might just keep that in mind, right? I'm not gonna. I mean, obviously, those entering the market now, this is a huge speculative gamble, right? If you're entering now, I'm definitely not entering now, but a 10K day, a day where it has 10K or something. Maybe that'll be the final orchestra crescendo. Remember to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Let's get to 1,000 likes. These are insane times, for sure. Insane times. Let's check in on Ethereum. Ethereum's at 1256. So Ethereum, from its local top, I mean, it had a 5% correction. So a pretty impressive short-term correction there. So you can see that there's there are some sellers coming out to take profits for sure, right? The sellers are coming out to take profits. Let's see if we can make another push back to 40K. Let's take a look at the other coins. So DOT still at $10, ADA's at 31 cents, Link still around $16, $17. So these coins haven't really moved, which sort of makes sense considering that Bitcoin is the showstopper. Ethereum is at least moving with Bitcoin, so that's a good thing, right? Ethereum is moving with Bitcoin. Valuation still at 0.032. And the dominance of Bitcoin has been moving up. So I know there's some coins that have had amazing weeks. but in terms of the dominance as a whole, it has been moving up the last few days. Okay, this top right here, I mean, we had like a, if you want to call it a double bottom right here. A lot of people will tell you can't really do, any type of useful analysis on the dominance chart just because of all the coins. I don't know. I feel like it's worth it. I mean, you get a general idea of all this, the amount of money that's just in the crypto space, right? So this top here was around, just shy of 70. So that might be an area to keep an eye on, a dominance of 70%. Otherwise, if we move past this, then maybe we're kind of going to come back up here to 73% dominance. Chris says, how did we reject 40K? We broke it. No, I mean, we went up to 40,425 on Coinbase, so, I mean, we broke 40K, but then we've come back down since then. Someone said, and it's a fair question, right? So let's just discuss, the elephant in the room. Let's go over here. So generally, we've talked a lot about lengthening cycles on the video. We've compared it to 4-year cycles. At this point, it's really hard to say what's going to go on. I mean, if we end up peaking in Q1 of 2021, then I mean, this would end up being a 3-year cycle if we end up peaking in 2021. So then it sort of throws cycle theory out the window if it ends up being shorter than the last cycle. But I still think it's still, we need to see what happens, right? We need to see what happens over the next few weeks, right? And then we can further reassess. It's really hard to assess these things when the market is just going up day over day, because everyone thinks that the price is just going to keep going higher forever. I think whenever we have kind of a calmer period, we can look back and reassess and say, okay, well, does the data suggest otherwise at this point? We'll see. One thing to consider, right? One thing to consider is that if let's say we peak at 40K or 50K, by the way, the lower bound to this regression chart up here is 55K. It ranges from 55 to 82K. So that would be, that would be the historical top, right? If you go all the way back. It's not set in stone, of course. There's some uncertainty. It's based on 3 data points, a logarithmic regression curve, just this equation, 10 a ln of x minus b. Okay, that's all it is. So from here, if we don't reach this part, I mean, like imagine we come up and then peak and come back down. I don't know. I mean, the question is, how long is it going to take it to recover to continue back up? When it's having these little bunny hill moves, it's easy for it to kind of come back down, hold support at the 20-week, and then recover. The higher it goes, right? The higher it goes, I feel like it's going to be harder and harder for us to hold that support band whenever we do correct down to it, right? And I don't know what level we're going to correct down to it at, but it just seems that it would be harder and harder to actually hold it as support, kind of like this move, right? I mean, the final time when we finally did correct, it took us a 50% correction just to get to the bull market support band. Guess where it is now? About a 50% correction to get there. So just something to keep in mind. We're not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. This could go on for a few more weeks for all we know, but recognize that a 50% correction would take that'd be similar to where we were last time at this level of extension. And if you pull out the let's pull out the other indicator. So this is the log of the price divided by the 20-week. Let's just go through some of these levels of extension here. I mean, we're getting very, We're moving up quickly. We're moving up quickly. The last time we were this far overvalued from the 20-week was the peak in 2017. Okay, that was the last time, and we didn't even come close. We didn't reach this level before the peak last cycle, right? We didn't even reach this level before the peak. But the last time we saw this level before the 2017 peak was all the way back in 2013. So quite a long time ago. Quite a long time ago. So that's just, something to consider. I'm not sure. I need to. Let me pull up a different chart because I don't want to. Let me just pull up the BLX. And then there's this trend line, which maybe we've already broken it. Ooh. Whew. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I don't know. I mean, obviously there's some wiggle room, right? It's not like it's set in stone, right? We can wiggle it down, wiggle it up. These are weekly time frames, so note that daily would be slightly different, but what do you We'll see. It's getting close to that level. Right, it's right around that level. I don't know. I mean, this indicator is not going to always be right. It's not going to always be right because the equation for this indicator is the natural log of the price divided by the 20-week. Okay? So if the price is the 20-week moving average, right? In that case, you would get the natural log of 1, which is 0. And for it to be 0, that'd be here. You can see our bull markets are when we hold that level as support, right? When we hold that level as support. We held it as support earlier last year, right? We held it as support not that long ago. Now, the one reason we know that this indicator will eventually break, and maybe this is where it breaks it, maybe it's not, maybe it is. The reason we know that it'll break it is because if you extend this out forever, like that, it'll take it until around 2028 to reach 0. Meaning, at that point, it would imply the price of Bitcoin is always less than its 20-week moving average, which means it's constantly trending down. We know that's not going to happen. Well, I guess we don't know anything, but we suspect that will not happen, right? It's not going to always stay below its 20-week moving average. So this indicator is only going to be good for a certain period of time, right? Let's clean this up a little bit. This indicator is only going to be good for a certain period of time, right? That's just simply the way it is. And you can see we've already, depending on how you draw the line, we've already come above it. Okay, we've already come above it. So we know at some point we'll break through it, because if we don't, it would imply eventually the price just goes below the 20-week, which does not make sense. The question is, are we going to break through it here sustainably, right? Or are we going to ultimately kind of come back down and then break it later? I don't know. But it's just something to keep an eye on. I don't know. I guess a picture is worth 1,000 words. But again, I don't know. I mean, there still is a non-negligible chance that Bitcoin runs to 50K. We also know that 40K could be the top for all we know, but just something to keep in mind. We know we're overextended. If we do get a correction, it doesn't mean the price can't go higher. Remember, because this is a function of the 20-week moving average, right? It's a function of the 20-week moving average, and the 20-week moving average is moving up constantly, right? The 20-week moving average today, if we just put that on here, so the 20-week, hold on, let me see the chat. So the 20-week moving average today is $17,000. Okay, it's $17,000. By next week, it probably is going to be 18,500, right? It'll be 18,005. We don't know exactly what it's going to be because it depends on what we do between now and then. But if it's 18,005, then we know that the price could theoretically move up, right? The price could theoretically move up. And by the way, one thing to consider, we've already broken this. We've already broken it on at least an hourly time frame, right? On an hourly time frame, we've already broken it. It'll depend on what happens over the next few days. But if you look at this trend line, we've already broken it, right? The reason why we've already broken it is because if you line them up as best as we can, so at least three of the lines come up to it. The reason we've broken it is because we're already above it, and this is the BLX. This is the BLX. It shows the closing price, 36,859. We know that we're already at, we're at what, 38,000. I guess we've come back down a little. We're at 38,560. So we already know that we have somewhat broken it. So now it's just a question of, is this going to be but a short-term moment in time where we reach 40K and then we go back down, and then on the weekly time frame this doesn't look as quite as extended, or is this where we break it, right? Is this where we break it and we set some new trend that's different from the historical downtrend we've been in terms of overextension from the 20-week moving average? Another thing to look at, and by the way, if you guys like the content, subscribe to the channel. Let's go for 85,000 subscribers. Give the video a thumbs up. I'm excited to see 3,700 people are watching. Let's put on another chart. Let's switch it back to Bitstamp. So here we are. This is our regression curve. Congratulations to everyone who was buying in the regression band. We always said eventually we'll come back out of it one day. We'll look back and be like, we wish we bought more. Congratulations to everyone who's reaping the reward, who's reaping the benefit of that now. Another thing to consider, right? Another thing to consider is this chart. Our regression rainbow. We have to look at it, right? We have to look at it, okay? Now, the reason I'm showing this is because it appears that we've gotten around the 2.5 log lines down, right? We looked at this one in a video the other day. It appears that we've gotten around 2.5 log lines down. You might be like, well, Ben, what the hell do 2.5 log lines mean? Well, let me just show you. Well, I guess what we need to do is, unfortunately, we need to go back to the BLX. So what in the hell does 2.5 log lines mean? Well, the point was just to say, well, from the first peak to the second peak, we dropped 2.5 log lines. So 1, 2, because we peaked here at the top, and then this one was a half. So minus 2.5. Again, all models are wrong. Some are useful. Don't take any of this stuff to the bank. Just know that this is just one more tool we have. None of these models are going to be perfect by any means. So 2.5 log lines from peak to peak. Let's continue on. For the next one, we start in the middle. So half, 1.5, 2.5, 2.5 log lines, 2.5 log lines, right? 2.5 log lines. Where are we now? Well, 1, 2. Guess where the half is? Well, the bottom is 32,000. The top is 55. So 55 plus 32 is 87. 87 divided by 2 is just over $40,000. So we've more or less hit 2.5 log lines. This is the BLX. It's the BLX. It doesn't show closing. It only shows closing price. We've already hit this point. Not quite. We have not gone up to 42. So halfway is around. It's around. Let me just. 32,090, 55,416. 32,090 plus 55,416 divided by 2, 43,000. Okay, so 43,753. So to get to 2.5 log lines, it would be here. So it'd be at that point. We've come close, right? Just another indicator to keep in mind. Just one more thing to keep in the back of your mind. Doesn't necessarily mean that's where we're going to peak. Or, I mean, we could turn around here, right? Maybe, I mean, again, this is already, we've already come up to this point, right? We've already come up to that point. So we're about 2.5 log lines down already. Just something to keep in mind, right? Something to keep in mind. This was our general accumulation window. And this was our prior accumulation window. Right? So peak, bottom, maybe another peak. I don't know, we'll see. And it's coming down right now, actually. We'll see where it stops, but it is coming down. We'll see how much volatility we get here. Ether's dropping a bit too. It's back down to 1,200. That's a pretty nice candle. That's a pretty nice wick. Ether Bitcoin is still more or less staying the same. It's 0.0318. It hasn't changed a whole lot. So the dominance is going. Yeah, the dominance still hasn't broken through 70. At least not. Well, there it goes, 70. So we're right around 70 in terms of the Bitcoin dominance. So what I would look for is, remember, buying Bitcoin now is very risky. We've been saying it all. It's very risky. Buying it now is very risky. It's so far extended. Doesn't mean you can't make money, right? Even if you buy it here, well, it's coming down pretty quickly. We dropped $3,000. Doesn't mean you can't make money, right? Doesn't mean that. It just means that if you buy it, it's speculative gambling, right? And again, you don't need crypto for that. And buying it at 40K or 38K is simply not investing. And then we are getting a pretty nice correction here, actually. We've dropped around $3,000. So I mean, it's not. It might not be anything to write home about yet, right? It's nothing to write home about yet, but it's coming down relatively quickly. We'll see if we bounce back up or not. I mean, maybe this will be the blow-off top for a while, and Bitcoin will come down. One thing to keep in mind. Okay, so Ethereum's coming down a bit here, 1190. We'll see where she stops. 1188. Again, we said earlier that a 20%, so a 20% correction from 40K would be around $32,000, and it put in a 20% correction not that long ago. So we'll see what happens, guys. Exciting times, remember. Exciting times. It looks like the market capitalization actually come back down below 1 trillion. So I need to check something really quick. So 36,000. So we're in the 36,000s now. Let me just check something. Okay. 36,500. Ethereum's coming back down too. We're getting a nice little correction here. A nice 4,000. Oh, Ethereum's really coming down. 1150. That's a fun wick. $11.51. Here we go. Are we going down to the 35s? Dominance is still around 70, so basically everything's bleeding at the same rate, more or less. So far, we've had about a 10% correction from the top. So that we literally just watched a 10% correction on stream. Literally just watched a 10% correction. You guys want the 1 second candles? Let's do it. The anxiety candles. Let's do the anxiety candles. Let's see if we come back up or if we're going to keep bleeding back down. Ethereum is still, I mean, it's still where it was earlier, yesterday, right? And it's not too big of a deal yet, but it is a nice correction for sure. Ether Bitcoin has come down some 0.0312, so that is a nice little correction here. We'll see if Bitcoin, if this is just one of those shakeout wicks, or if 40K is the local top for a while. Twice the prior all-time high. Remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. Pretty happy to see almost 4,700 people viewing. So make sure you subscribe. Let's get to 85,000 subscribers. All right, Ethereum's coming back up a little, 1136. So, okay, let's go back to the BLX. So, I mean, again, this showed you the 2.5 log line curve of basically almost getting to the negative 2.5 log line curve, which we had seen before. We'll see if again, that was 2.5, and then that was 2.5, and then we basically we came within a couple $1,000s of going to 2.5 again, so minus 2.5, minus 2.5. Look at this. This is pretty fun. The closing price yesterday was 36,859, and even after like an 8% correction, we're still $1,000 above the prior close. All right, we're back to 38. We're going to get a 1 second chart dead cat bounce. Ethereum Bitcoin is putting in the pi value again, 3.141592653, something like that. Bitcoin's back above 38. The rest of the market isn't really doing a whole lot. It looks like Link is down to 1560. ADA's down to 28 cents. Not really surprising to see. I mean, when you see a 10% Bitcoin correction, that's what you're simply going to get. Now, as long as Bitcoin volatility stays like this, I would not think too hard about the altcoin market, right? The altcoin market is simply not going to behave the way you probably want it to. As Bitcoin volatility is this high, it's going to be very, very volatile. Those are going to be super volatile. They're basically just going to be an extension of what Bitcoin's doing, but to a higher degree. So the focus is Bitcoin. The secondary focus is Ethereum. Beyond that, again, if Bitcoin can stabilize for a couple days, these alts can run, because we know that Bitcoin is so far overextended. It's just absurd. If you look at the weekly RSI, which again, as we've said before, the RSI isn't really that useful, because during bull markets, it can stay like this for a really long period of time. But if you look at it, right, I mean, if you just say, you know what, let's just take a a pragmatic look at the weekly RSI, and let's make it so you guys can see it, we never even reached a weekly RSI even close to this last cycle. The last time Bitcoin was overbought to this level on the weekly time frame was in November of 2013. It was a long time ago, So it pales in comparison, or it makes the last cycle pale in comparison in terms of the weekly RSI. But again, the RSI is not always the best tool, just because it can stay like this for a really long time. Another chart we're going to look at. We've come this far, might as well keep on going. Let's look at another chart. This one, let's get rid of all this nonsense. The bull market support band, the rainbow. We'll put back on this band, and now we're going to add another chart. Okay. Make sure you guys subscribe. I can't believe we have over 5,000 people watching. So if you guys like the content, subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. So if you look at the where am I looking at? This one. This chart, this is why I don't think, I don't know. I mean, we'll switch it over to a daily time frame. This chart is the price divided by the fair value. Okay, it's the price divided by the fair value according to the non-bubble, right? If you had a nickel for every time I said that, divided by the non-bubble Bitcoin data. So basically it's divided by this line, divided by that line. Okay? So when you do that, what do you get? What do you get when you divide the price by the non-bubble regression line? Well, we need to switch it over to a daily time frame, because weekly time frames, as I was showing earlier, make these two appear similar, right? It makes those two appear similar. However, if you switch over to the daily time frame and you capture the daily data, you can see it's not true. This one had a peak way up here. So if you connect peak to peak, we'll make this higher, to around the peak, right? I mean, it's not perfect, right? There's a little bit of wiggle room here, but let's take it somewhere right there in between. So we have peak, second peak, third peak, not even close. We're not even close. This is one of the reasons why I don't think this is the final blow off top. I think that it might be, right? It could be the final blow off top, and we go into a 1 to 2 year bear market. Imagine, I don't think that's what's going to happen, but imagine if Bitcoin peaks in Q1 and then we spend the rest of 2021 in a bear market. And Bitcoin doesn't give a what about what anyone thinks about what year it needs to peak or what month it needs to peak. Most people are not predicting a Q1 2021 peak. Now, what would we have to do to get to this value and say, okay, well, maybe this is the peak. Maybe this is the peak before a multi-year bear market, right? What would have to happen? Well, to get to this level, it's simple math, right? This equation is the log of the price of Bitcoin divided by the fair value. Okay? That's all it is. And it has to equal, if it equaled about 1.58, 1.57, we would be at the peak. Well, where does that put us? Okay, what the hell is the fair value? Well, again, if you go look at this chart, which is fit to non-bubble data, the fair value right now is around 11,258. Now, you might say, oh, this is absurd. We're never going down to 11,258. I'm right there with you. There's a good chance we don't. Last cycle, we left the fair value. We didn't come back down to it. We left it in March of 2017. We came back in December of 2018. It took another, almost not quite 2 years to come back down to it. And by the time we left it, it was $1,000. And we returned, it was around $3,000. Now, it's currently around 11,258. So, that begs the question, if we go back up to 11,258, or if that's the fair value, and let's suppose that it takes us another week or so to get there. So, let's say 11,300. So, we're going to take the log of the price divided by 11,300 equals 1.58, because that's what we need to get to that top. That would put it at a $54,000 Bitcoin, around a $55,000 Bitcoin. Okay? Now, what does that mean? Well, if we go back over here, we know that if Bitcoin were to reach $55,000 in the next week or two, we're coming back up. We're coming home. We're coming home. This is where we like to be. If it does that in the next 2 weeks or so, we're coming home. Where would 55K put us, right? If we do it in the next 2 weeks, it would put us at around 55K. Where does that put us on the chart? The lower bound to the peak regression chart, you can see it right here, this number, 55K. Okay, 55K. So, and by the way, these regression lines are not based on the same data. It's just a happy coincidence. Okay, it's just a happy coincidence. So, if Bitcoin reaches 55K in the next couple of weeks, it'll take it up to this point, right? Which again is the price divided by the fair value, and the fair value is this line, right? It's this line. This is the fair value, the green line. Now, are we going to reach 55K? Who the hell knows, right? Who the hell knows if we're going to reach 55K? I don't know if we're going to reach it or not. What I can say is that if we do reach it, right? If we do reach it, then there will be even more indicators saying that it's time, right? There'll be even more saying that it's time. If we don't reach it and we turn around, let's say we turn around at 40K, or let's say we turn around at 50K, which would come just shy, right? If we turn around here. If we do that, what you're going to want to keep an eye on is the bull market support band, right? That's what we need to hold to maintain the integrity of the bull market. If we don't hold it, let's switch this over to the weekly. If we don't hold it, well, you've seen what happens when we don't hold it, right? You've seen what happens. We don't hold it, it's not good. It's just simply not good. We don't hold it, down, right? We go down. After we did not hold it here, after not holding it, we dropped 36%. After not holding it here, we dropped 55%. After not holding it here, the price dropped from the 20-week 68%. So not holding it is not a good thing. Not holding it is not a good thing. It's still pretty far away though. We're not even close to it right now. The 20-week SMA is at $17,000. The 21-week EMA is at 19.2. So we still have a ways to go before we would ever even come close to testing it. However, note that these are moving up quickly. Okay, so these are moving up quickly. So imagine it looks something like that. And imagine Bitcoin comes up here, goes to some peak, and then comes back down. By the time we test it, the 20-week or the 21-week EMA, I mean, it could be well over $20,000. And when we test it, wherever we test it, we want to hold it as support, right? It's as simple as that. We want to hold it as support to maintain the integrity of the bull market. Just like we did over here, right? Support, 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 support. Support here too. Support here, right? That's our support line. If we hold it as support, then the bulls are still in business. If we don't hold it as support, then the bears are coming out, and they're not friendly koala bears. They're not little panda bears. They're the grizzly bears. So just keep it in mind. You know, we've talked about the 20-week for a long time. You know, we discussed it significantly in these areas, saying we need to hold it to maintain to get the bull market started. We failed to hold it here. We failed to hold it here. We finally held it here. We said sentiment can change on a dime if we do. And here we are. It has gone up far more than I thought it was going to, right? Far more than I thought it was going to. But here we are. Hindsight is crazy. Hindsight is crazy. So since holding it, I mean, this was the last time we hit it right here. So since holding it, Bitcoin is up 262%. Now let's take another look at the time between when we hold it. Okay, let's take another look at the time between when we hold it. So again, in this cycle, again, let's just take a look at the price. We're currently at 38.5. Ethereum's back over 1,200. So we'll see if we can push back up, or if maybe this is if we're ultimately going to trend back down. But let's go back. Remember to subscribe to the channel. We have 5,000 viewers, so that's pretty impressive. So if you guys like the content, subscribe. Let's get to 85,000 subscribers, and give the video a thumbs up. Maybe we can get to 3,000 likes. We've never hit 3,000 likes, but we've never had 5,000 viewers either. We've had 3,000 viewers at the most, I think. Maybe 3,500 or so. So the time between testing it last cycle, none of this is financial advice, by the way. These are just different models that I use. Nothing you can take to the bank. Time between tests here, 91 days, 70 days, 84 days, 63 days, 105 days, 56, and finally 126. Okay, so 91, 70, 84, 63, 105, 56, and 126. Let's look at this cycle. Maybe we'll say that's 84. Here to here was 49. So far, again, we're at 91. So we're getting to that upper range, right? We're getting to the upper range of how long it has historically been between tests of the bull market support band. We're getting to the upper range, but note that last cycle, the longest it went was 126 days, which means if we were to see that 126, so we'd be looking at 101, 111, so we'd be looking at about another 35 days. 35 days from here before maybe testing it. If it plays out like that, might be February. It could be February before we test it. It could be March, right? Maybe this cycle will extend longer, or maybe this will move up longer than any of the ones the last cycle, just like the weekly RSI is overbought more than it was last cycle at any given time. But when things do come back down, and they will, we just don't know when it's going to happen. When they do come back down, and we, and the dust settles, and we look at the price of Bitcoin and figure out, okay, where is it? Where is maybe the fair value? Are we back in the regression band? Don't fall for the, oh, it's going to zero stuff. It's just garbage, right? It's just garbage. Recognize it for the opportunity that it is. We've been saying this for over a year now. When we're in this band, recognize it for the opportunity that it is. Doesn't matter, right? We said this all along. When we're up here and we're buying, and it comes up here, we're still buying. When it comes down here, we're buying more. We don't care about short-term moves. We don't get out of bed for these moves, right? We don't get out of bed for 20, 30% moves. I mean, maybe we got out of bed for the March crash, but that was because we were aggressively buying, not because I was trying to sell. There's a different mindset, right? It's a different mindset. This is the buying mindset, no matter what happens to the price, in my opinion. It's just buy, buy, buy. Get it? Accumulate, accumulate, accumulate. Because these moves will come. They likely will come at some point, and you will want to have as much crypto as possible to take advantage of that, right? You'll want as much crypto as possible to take advantage of that. We'll see how high we go. It looks like we're around 38K right now. Remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. So anyways, we'll keep an eye on Ethereum. We're at 1183. The market can shake people out too, right? I mean, this might not be the correction, right? I mean, we could be at $43,000 tomorrow, and everyone will have forgotten about this. But keep an eye on everything. If Bitcoin is able to stabilize for a couple days, then it could give other coins room to run, right? It could give other coins room to run. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as well, because I mean, Ethereum's been moving up pretty systematically over the last few days. I mean, this is January 3rd, so January 3rd to today. I mean, it's been moving up fairly systematically here, right? Something like that. Total market capitalization is back over 1 trillion. The dominance is above 70, so we have come back above 70 here, which is higher than where we peaked at on January 6th, a whole 2 days ago, or yesterday, I should say, higher than where we were yesterday. So yeah. Crazy times, my friends. We have almost 12,000 people in the Telegram chat. Make sure you guys join. We'll post the link in the comments. Yeah, I mean, I know the regression lines are extrapolating stuff. I mean, they're not perfect, right? No model is. And remember, if you guys want to join the premium list and get an idea of how I'm navigating these markets, you can check out intothe.cryptoverse.com. All right, how's everyone doing tonight? You guys feeling euphoric yet, or you think it's only begun? Are we looking at? Let's get off 1 second candles and zoom back out. Let's look at 5-minute candles. So, who thinks that's the peak? Or maybe who thinks we're going to go higher, right? Are we going to just simply recover and ultimately trend higher later, you know, in a few days? Or do you guys think this is the final top for a while? We'll see what happens. We will see what happens for sure. Sorry, just give me a second here, and I'll be back. All right, we're at 37. I just gotta type something. Okay, we're back at 37.8. We'll see what happens. This was a nasty shakeout for sure. See if this is the top or if it's not. We're back above a 1 trillion market cap. Let's see where everything is. So Litecoin's at 165. DOT is still around 10 bucks. ADA's a little less than 30 cents. Link is a little less than $16. Ethereum's still doing okay at 1182 or so. Bitcoin's at 37.7. So you can see that things are getting really testy at this point. Really testy at this point. I really don't know how much longer the buyers can overwhelm the bears, but I mean, they could have another 10 or 20K left in them potentially. Maybe more. I'm not saying people should buy or sell. I'm saying I'm not buying. I'm not buying at this point. I stopped buying a long time ago. So long ago, in fact, it's been months since I bought Bitcoin. It's just these times are too risky for me, right? It's not about the absolute return. It's about that risk-adjusted return. and going from, say, buying Bitcoin from 3K and trying to see like a 5x from there to get to 15K is not that hard, right? But to go from, say, 15K to, to 60K, 70K, 80K, 90K, whatever, it's a lot harder. So it's all about getting in when it's relatively quiet, right? You want to get in when it's quiet in the space, not when your grandmother's talking about Bitcoin, right? If your grandmother's talking about Bitcoin, I mean, if history is any indication, that is not the time to buy. Derek says Ben has to be the biggest bear. I know. This doesn't even make any sense. We've said many times we think Bitcoin's going to 100K over the next few years, so this just must be a troll. The thing is, again, it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games until the people that bought up here, if we don't get back to that level and we trend lower, it's all fun and games until those people get trapped, and then they obviously the sentiment will then revolve around those people. If Bitcoin bails them out and it trends higher, right, and then it dumps, it'll be these people, right? We just simply don't know. We don't know yet. I mean, all we're doing is we're taking a pragmatic look at these markets. Remember, I own a lot of other things too. I mean, equities. Equities. I have a ton of equities. We just take a pragmatic look at the crypto market, and the idea is to make money on it, right? Not to get married to it. I think it's a great idea, but I don't want to usher in the blockchain revolution, if there's going to be one, and not make money on it, right? So the idea is to come in when it's good to come in, and to take profits when it's time to take profits. That's all there is to it. And if it doesn't, I don't know where you're taking profits, but you have to figure that out for yourself. I don't know where the top is. I simply do not know. It could be 40K, it could be 50K. Maybe we even come into the peak regression band that ranges from 55 to around 82. Maybe we come up here. Or maybe we don't make it, we come back down and then test it later on. That'd be nice. That'd also be nice, right? Nothing wrong with that. And then maybe what we'll do is we'll look back and be like, oh, look at this fun pattern, like down and up, maybe down again and back up. Maybe it'll look like that, and we'll have like a triple peak market cycle. Wouldn't that be interesting? Maybe like that. I don't know. I'm just speculating, right? I do think that Bitcoin will break six figures in the next few years. I really do. But maybe we really don't know the way it's going to get there. All right, we gotta get slow mode on. We'll see. I mean, we'll see if we can push back to 40. We're currently at 38.5, so we'll see. There's definitely a chance. There's definitely a chance we can blow past 40 and continue on. Let's go back and look at 1 minute time frames and see what's going on. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of people are having a hard time logging into the exchanges. I mean, a lot of times it's good to just have orders set already so that you don't have to log in. All right, so who thinks we're gonna come back to 40? Who thinks we're gonna test 40 again? It's up here. Well, this is 40. This is over 40. So 40 would be right around there. So to get there from where we currently are, we need to go up by about 4%. Ethereum's still moving. Ethereum's back at 1200. Let's see, it wicked down to 1140. Maybe if Bitcoin can stabilize, we'll see. Maybe I mean, Ethereum's still below its prior all-time high, right? It's still below it. It's certainly something we would want to see, right? Would be to see it go back. I can't. I mean, slow mode is on, and I can't even read the comments at all. Like they're flying on the screen so quickly, I can't even come close to reading those comments. Hopefully everyone's doing okay though. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys like the content. Let's go for 85,000 subscribers. And give the video a thumbs up. We're almost at 85,000, so we need another couple hundred subscribers and we'll be there. And let's go for 2,000 likes. We'll keep it going for a little while and see if we can push back to 40K or if things are going to settle down. By the way, if things do settle down, if I'm not on stream, if things start to settle and Bitcoin isn't crashing or it's not moving up over a couple days, again, look for things like Ethereum to make moves. Look for other coins to make moves. What's going on with Kraken? I see a lot of people talking about Kraken. Someone in the chat said Bitcoin is dead. Yeah, right. Man, this volatility was pretty crazy to watch. I mean, we watched this live. We started the stream like right here. We watched it come up and then drop. Imagine what it'll be like if we get to 50K before a final top. If in fact this is not the final top, imagine what it might look like at 50K. The volatility we might see there. Someone said Benjamin Cowan Grizzly Bear channel. I mean, if we go to like I'll tell you this though. I mean, if the price, I'm already getting pretty bearish here. I still own a decent amount of my Bitcoin, but I have taken profits. If we do come up here, yeah, I'm gonna be a grizzly bear. I'll be a grizzly bear at that point. At this point, it's really hard to say. And really, what you should do is look for a reversal, right? I mean, so far it's just momentum, as we've said before, is a hell of a drug, and this is just moving up really quickly. I mean, at this pace, it's not going to take that much longer. Right? If we keep going up at this rate, we could be at the top here in a week or two, if this rate continues. We could be up there by the week of January 18th if we continue moving up this quickly. So, again, leverage trading is incredibly risky. I would never recommend it. And shorting is also risky because, again, momentum is really a powerful thing. It's a really powerful thing. All right, we're still at 38.3. Let's see, did the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio? No, we're still at around pi, 0.0314. Hasn't done much yet. You guys want to switch over to the anxiety chart, the 1 second chart? We can do that. All right, this is our anxiety chart. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the analysis earlier on the logarithmic regression stuff and the 20-week stuff. Now we'll just do some garbage analysis at 1 second time frames. Bitcoin's still at 38351. Let's see what the Ethereum chart's looking at. Looks like we might be getting back on track. We might be getting back on track here. We'll see though. I mean, I'm hoping we see a push to 1400 before, at least 1400 before things settle out. It would be a shame if during this move Ethereum did not make it to 1400. Hopefully we'll make it there. One second, Charles Vargas. Thank you guys for liking the channel. Make sure you subscribe. All right, we'll see. We'll see if we can come back. So far, we've been around 38.3 for a while, at least for a few minutes. Seems like an eternity or so. Between 38.1 and 38.3. Ethereum seems to maybe be getting back on track here. The dominance is around 70% still, so not a whole lot has changed there. Maybe we won't head back up. I mean, obviously, if Bitcoin goes to 50K in the short term, then almost assuredly the dominance is going to go up. The money supply is just ridiculous, right? If you look at monthly time frames, if you're curious, you can see how much money has been printed off the general trend line here. Just it's crazy. All right, let's see if we can move back to 39. We're at 38.5. Are we going to take another run at the title? $38.6. We'll see if we can pass it. We need to get up from here. We need to go up another Oh, that's not, that's up to 39. Yeah, because we're looking at the 1 second chart. I forgot. Remember, if you guys want to join the party after the stream is over, we have a Telegram channel. I'll put that in the chat. And then there's another party that's called Into the Cryptocosm. This is if you guys want to talk about micro caps, which we're not going to talk about here. If you guys want to join that, check out the other Telegram chat I posted. Currently back to 38.7. We'll see if we can get back above 38.9 or 39K. Ethereum's back up, 1215. We came close to 1300. We got to 1291, so pretty close. Pretty close. If Bitcoin, as we said before, if it can sit still for a little bit, it could give other coins the chance to run. But as long as the volatility stays like this, a lot of the market just simply isn't going to. Okay, it's just simply not going to. So Bitcoin's at 38.7, around 38.7 or so. Ethereum's at 12.17. Still a ways to go to get to the top if we do make it to the top during this run. Someone said Coinbase is down and he really wanted to sell the dip. Yeah, we looked at the dominance. It's around 70% or so. I want to see Ethereum. I want to see Ethereum pick up the pace. I want to see like a $1,400 Ethereum. As long as Bitcoin can hold off on crashing. Yeah, someone mentioned DXY. It's a good one to keep an eye on. If you're curious as to get some insight into the price of Bitcoin, you just need to look at DXY, right? If it comes back up like this, then it's not good for Bitcoin. If it goes down, it's good for Bitcoin. This move from January of 2017 to the bottom in January 2018 or so, the US dollar dropped around 15%. That's what ushered in Bitcoin's $20,000. Since March, we've come down about 12% or so, 13%. So this has ushered in this amazing Bitcoin move. If you want an idea as to whether Bitcoin will continue, just watch the US dollar. Watch the US dollar. It tends to be a pretty good indicator, right? Are we going to bounce back off the level that we bounced off of a few years ago? Or are we going to trend all the way down? Are we going to trend much further down? And if you look much further down, are we going to do something like that, right? Where we come, much further down than we have been since Bitcoin has been around, right? I mean, Bitcoin, well, I guess it was around back here, but not a lot of people had Bitcoin back in 2009. Here's 2011. You can see in 2011, 2012, it was around 80% or 80. Yeah, it was around 80 or so. But this move right here is what accompanied that most recent, the last bull market, and then this move has accompanied the current bull market. Crazy times. We'll look back. We'll look back on December 2020 and January 2021, and who knows how long, and relive the move. Someone said, "Can we do a graph like this, but with total market cap instead?" We have that actually. We have that. Just check out the videos on the channel, right? I don't think I have it up. Let me see if I can find it. So this chart is a little bit old. It was as of January 1st, which is an eternity ago now. It's like a week ago almost. But back then, the market cap was around 774 billion. Okay, this is the total cryptocurrency market capitalization. Okay, we do this series on the first of every month. It's called Bitcoin: The Beauty of Mathematics, but it's actually analysis on the entire asset class as a whole. So the red line is more or less our fair value line. Anything under it is generally a good buy. Anything over it, we're getting into overvaluation territory. Back then, we were approximately overvalued by 44%. We could stand to go a lot higher, but we simply do not know. This is the valuation versus the trend line. So a general downtrend, right? And if we do come back up, right, then we would come up here at maybe 1,000% overvaluation, which would put us at around, I mean, if we were to reach 1,000% overvaluation, it might put us at a lot higher. I don't think we're going to go up that quick. That would imply a peak at the end of 2021. If it takes longer and we had, say, an 800% overvaluation from the future fair value, then it might look something like that. But we did make we did note some similarities between this cycle and then 2 cycles ago, right? So, red, blue, yellow, green, purple, below fair value, above, below fair value, above, below, and then blast off, right? Below, above, below, and then blast off. And then this one was a double peak. This one was a double peak cycle. So maybe we'll do something like that. I don't know. Or something like that. We'll see. See, so we're back at 38.8 now. Someone said take profits equals pay taxes. Well, you have to consider that not everyone lives in your country. Some people might also trade within the confines of an IRA, and some people are okay with paying taxes if they think a huge correction is coming. So it really depends on your perspective. I mean, the people that didn't sell in 2017, when they were up 100x, it would have been smart to sell, right? And to take that. I mean, it sure as hell would have beaten watching an 80% drop, right? We just simply do not know. We do not know what the future will hold. And some people might take profits to pay off their house or to pay off their car, to pay off their student loans. Everyone's in a different situation, and really there's nothing ever wrong, in my opinion, with someone taking profits and using it to better their life. Still around 38.8. Let's see if Ethereum Bitcoin's back up a tiny bit, not a whole lot. 0.0315. Ether USD is at 12.24. DOT still is around $10, so it hasn't really changed a whole lot. It's had some pretty impressive wicks here over the last day. Sorry, I'm just reading. Everyone's talking about how all the exchanges are down. Yeah. High traffic usually does that to them. Almost back to 39. Let's see if we can push it to 39 again. We're almost there. That's where we had a little bounce last time, a few minutes ago. See it? We pushed through. Over 39K again. Let's see. I mean, we're only $1,000 from 40 grand. Only $1,000 away. Back down, 38.9. Ethereum is back on track here, 1226, so it's still doing okay. Someone said, is this a double top? Ah, this is the 1 second time frame. We went higher, right? We were up here. We were way higher than where we currently are. If you're referring to this being a double top. A $39,000 Bitcoin. I've never seen it sit still for this. Okay, there it goes. I was just sitting still for a minute. Once we get to 40, remember that we were showing earlier the time between, say, if we do get to 40, the time between each 10K is decreasing significantly. Imagine if we do go to 50. Imagine if it happened in a day or two. That would be insane. But if the rate continues, then that's what it would do. We'll see, we're climbing up. We're over 39K. We'll see if we can come back up. We'll switch over to a 5-second time frame so we can get a little bit more history here. This is a 5-second one. Where did we bottom? It looks like we went down to around 36,198 or so. 36,198. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just checking some of the orders. Alright, so it bottomed at 36 on Coinbase anyways. It bottomed at 36, 192, 198, somewhere in that ballpark. Okay, just checking where it bottomed. If you want these indicators that I have, you have to join the premium list into the cryptoverse.com. Ethereum still doing okay. 1242 is the, yeah, we're coming back up. Ether Bitcoin's at it's almost back to 0.0317. We're back at 0.0317. So that's looking okay. Let's see if we can continue that move right there. This is a 5-second time frame. $39.2, $800 away from 40K. Make sure you subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Let's get to 85,000 subscribers if you guys like the content. We need 6 more subscribers to get to 85,000 subscribers. Maybe 14. We need 14 subscribers. Yeah, as I said, I would really like it. I mean, it would be a shame if Ethereum does not reach $1,400 before there's a substantial correction. I hope that it can, but we'll see. We'll see what. I mean, it's going to depend on what Bitcoin does. We talk about Ethereum. Someone says they'll subscribe if I talk about Ethereum. We talk about Ethereum all the time. Recently I probably put out more videos on Ethereum than Bitcoin. Because you know our Ethereum band. Let's see it. So we'll remove that. auto that out. We'll switch this over to one that has more info. And then we'll put on our Ethereum band here. If it ever loads, of course. Still loading. I don't know, it still says it's loading. There it is. That's our Ethereum band. So who in the chat was buying during our videos talking about accumulation phase of a lifetime and the reaccumulation phase of a lifetime? Hopefully you guys were buying then when it was less than $400 to $500. We did an accumulation video of a lifetime right here when it was at $235. Looks like a Kraken, yeah, this is down because it still sold at 1184. Let's switch it over to a different exchange. I was looking at this trend earlier. Yeah, I mean, it seems like the entire market is just going parabolic at this point. We'll see what's happening over here. So Bitcoin, it's still moving up and back down. Okay, we'll see what it does. See if it gets back on track and continues moving up. How do we know it's parabolic when all the exchanges are down and not many can trade? Well, it's not just based on today, right? It's not just based on today. Someone said, can I show a correlation of the... Yeah. Well, it's not updated, but here it is. It's not updated, though. This is Ethereum's returns, Ethereum Bitcoin ROI starting in December. We're still on track. Ethereum ROI in October, November, December tends to be pretty good in terms of its 90-day ROI. This is the Ethereum running 1-year ROI. This is the Bitcoin running 1-year ROI, right? And if we look at both of them, we can see that Bitcoin's 1-year ROI. The thesis is that Bitcoin volatility is one market cycle behind Bitcoin or behind Ethereum. Or Ethereum volatility is one market cycle behind Bitcoin. This was 100x ROI by Bitcoin. And then the next one was a 25x, 100x for Ethereum, more or less. If the next one is a 25x by March, then maybe it implies a $2,500 Ethereum, but we'll have to see. All right. Ethereum's doing okay, still at 1237. We might sign off here soon. Hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Give the video a thumbs up if you guys have enjoyed the discussion. We've been going for almost 2 hours. dominance for Bitcoin is still pretty much holding steady right now, right around 70%. So not a huge change there. So during its volatility, the rest of the market has been keeping up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I think we're gonna end it there. If you guys like the content, remember to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, check out the premium list if you guys want to do that. But with it getting laggy, we should probably go ahead and end it. And from there, we'll wrap it up. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. We'll continue this another time. Bye.